Welcome again, everyone. It's time for some table talk. I know you're sitting there saying, is that a trx4 Defender? Yawn. Isn't that the very first version of the trx4? Oh, we've seen and heard everything about it. Well, let me tell you guys, this table talk was brought to you this week by Pezzapoo, Hobby Shiz, still love his name. He got in my head weeks ago. I only own one Land Rover, and love it or hate it, the Traxxas Defender is a nice body. And I've had this truck since it came out, 2017. Nowadays, it seems, because this truck's got such a long wheelbase, it's just weird to try to find a body for it. So it seems that Land Rover expedition vehicles are becoming a hit. Now, this comes with the rack and all that other doodads on it, so it's really easy to convert it. And then if you get one of the newer style light kits, because this came with the early version light kit, which you can't add as many lights as you can with the new kits. And conveniently, I have a new kit. But I like Land Rovers, and I haven't gotten any of the RC four-wheel drive ones because they're so small. This is a big, beefy truck. But I digress. Let's get back to Pezzapoo Hobby Shiz. Made an idea. I have never attempted such a thing. So I threw out the idea. He's going to do this conversion with 3D printed material. But I am not skilled in such witchcraft of the 3D printer. So I'm doing mine with conventional materials instead. And let's get to what I'm talking about. What? Oh, and I couldn't be more pleased. I did not even remotely think that I could do such a thing. But with modern chemicals, with some good taping and some measurements, it came out. And it blows my mind still that it came out like it did. Now, this is the easy part. Getting it to sit on the truck. Now I still have taping and painting. You know, I did an experiment with some, Lexan paint removal, and I don't have the stuff to buff out windows and whatnot, so it's going to stay with black windows. But meanwhile, amazingly, the top section, the back section, it fit perfect. And wait a minute, let me see, I got a piece of this laying around somewhere. So I have this plastic material. Wait a minute. Didn't plan out very well. So this is something you buy. It's a mud flap. A big one. And what is the material? Let's just see real quick with our handy dandy calipers. This is 5 millimeters thick. And with some measuring twice, cutting once, got the piece, wanted to make sure I used little tiny hardware microscopic screws because I wanted this truck to be strong. Now, I also experimented with a new adhesive I've had, and it worked great. Fiber Fix Extreme. It's a gel. If I was to do this again, I would make sure I'd sand off all the paint. But where the cuts were, that was all cleared anyways. Didn't have any paint on it. But any place it went over, it dissolved the paint. So I've seen some Lexan bodies done something like this. Here, let's move in close. So there was some slight imperfections. I had to sand it down, but all the lines are correct. Nice and smooth. There's no lip on it. Just crazy. And I made it more like a tonneau cover because this material is textured and it's hard, so I can mount things to it. And I've already got a few things I'm thinking about for mounting. But meanwhile, once again, I wanted it to be strong. I wanted it to look good on the outside. I wasn't concerned about the inside. Boom! Ugliness. Well, I guess it's not too bad. See if we can get in there. So I used some extra pieces for reinforcement. Once all the gluing was done in the corner, see that? Where it made it red? So I just wanted it strong. So once it was all done and glued together, I RTV'd over everything just as a backup. The RTV, kind of ugly, but that's on the inside. Now, if you are to try such a thing, you are going to want to make sure that you measure and check everything ahead of time. Because this worked out good, and I cut it because you got two body lines. So you got another body line up here. So I cut it there so I'd have the clearance for the fender liners. But fender liners, they've all been painted. The roof rack has been cut to the way I think it's going to look really good, especially since here's the two holes for it. Where I cut it, that beam is going to come right across and it'll cover my screws up. So I am just, wow, I almost just went off. I couldn't believe, maybe it was a whole pot of decaf, whatever it was yesterday, that inspired me. But here is the $8 purchase that you should make if you're ever going to try this. The body mounts. The body mount will not, the rear one, will not accommodate a 5mm space that it has to go through. So when I bought this kit, or for the trx4 Sport, I bought the body mounting kits. For $8, it came with all of the mounts they have. None of them work except for one. They have one in there. It's one of these tall body mounts. It's got two clip holes in it. But the holes don't go up far enough. So you have to drill your own holes. And this is as flush as I can get it to hold the body. It's also wider than the front one. So what I had to do was, now I'm committed to using that body mount. It doesn't allow the bumper. There's a gap in the bumper. But I'm hoping once I get everything back on it, I'm going with a retro paint scheme on it. But I think this is just going to look fabulous. And I'm once again now I'm just overjoyed because a Land Rover pickup truck, to me, also looks tougher than the full-bodied, whatever you call. I've only got 4 SUV style trucks. Well, 5. Well, 6, 7. But I like pickups more, and you don't see pickup truck Land Rovers running around. But meanwhile, that's gonna get rid of all this extra weight of the rack. I'm probably not gonna put the spare tire back on, but I am gonna use that mount still in the back just for the stability on the bumper. But that's it. Today, taping, painting, getting things going. I will be doing a two-tone. It's got to have the white roof. Even though with this one, I thought the tan roof looked pretty neat. But now we're back to the drawing board. New paint scheme, more retro. That's what's on the table today, getting worked on. Thanks again, Pezzapoo, for getting in my head. And now, since I know how beautiful you do 3D printing things, I'm really working on trying to make this look beautiful. So thanks, everybody. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you on the next one.